Dr. James Mitchell adjusted his white coat and glanced at the appointment schedule on his mahogany desk. The late afternoon sun filtered through the tall windows of his private practice, casting long shadows across the polished floor. At 42, he had built a reputation as one of the city's most successful cardiologists. His penthouse office overlooking Central Park reflected years of dedication and countless saved lives. The next appointment was with Sarah Chen, a 28-year-old woman who had been referred for heart palpitations. James had seen hundreds of patients with similar symptoms, usually caused by stress or anxiety. He expected this to be another routine consultation. A soft knock interrupted his thoughts. His assistant, Mrs. Rodriguez, opened the door with her usual warm smile. "Dr. Mitchell, Miss Chen is here for her appointment." "Please send her in," James replied, straightening his tie and preparing his professional demeanor. Sarah entered the room with hesitant steps, her dark hair falling like a curtain around her face. She wore a simple blue sweater and carried a worn leather purse clutched tightly in her hands. Her eyes darted around the elegant office before settling nervously on the floor. "Good afternoon, Miss Chen. Please have a seat." James gestured to the comfortable chair across from his desk. His voice carried the gentle authority that had reassured countless patients over the years. Sarah perched on the edge of the chair, her posture rigid with anxiety. "Thank you, Dr. Mitchell," she whispered, barely audible. James opened her file and reviewed the referral notes. "I see Dr. Williams sent you to me because you've been experiencing heart palpitations. Can you tell me when these episodes began?" "About 6 months ago," Sarah replied, her voice still soft. "They happen mostly at night or when I'm around other people?" James nodded, making notes. "Have you noticed any patterns? Specific triggers that might cause them?" Sarah's cheeks flushed pink. It's difficult to explain." She twisted the strap of her purse between her fingers. "It happens when people get too close to me. Physical contact makes it worse." "Physical contact," James repeated, his pen pausing over the paper. "Can you be more specific? Are we talking about handshakes or something more intimate?" The question hung in the air like morning mist. Sarah's breathing became shallow, and James noticed her hands trembling slightly. He had seen anxiety before, but something about her reaction seemed different, more profound. "Any touch," Sarah finally admitted, her voice barely a whisper. "I work at the library downtown. Sometimes patrons accidentally brush against me when reaching for books. My heart starts racing and I feel like I can't breathe." James set down his pen and leaned forward slightly. His professional instincts told him there was more to this story. "Sarah, may I ask about your medical history? Have you experienced any trauma that might contribute to these symptoms?" Tears welled in Sarah's eyes. She looked up at him for the first time, and James was struck by the depth of pain he saw there. "Dr. Mitchell, I need to tell you something. It's embarrassing, but I think it might be important." "Take your time," James said gently. "Nothing you tell me will leave this room." Sarah took a shaky breath. "I'm 28 years old, and I've never been touched by another person. Not romantically, not intimately. Never." The words settled between them like stones dropped in still water. James felt his professional composure falter for just a moment. In all his years of practice, he had never encountered someone who had lived so completely without human physical connection. "When you say never ... James began carefully. "I mean never," Sarah confirmed, wiping away a tear. "I was raised by my grandmother after my parents died. She was kind but distant, not affectionate. I was shy in school, had no friends. In college, I focused only on studies. Now I work alone in the back office of the library, cataloging books. I go home to my apartment, and I'm alone there too." James found himself leaning back in his chair, processing this revelation. His mind raced through medical journals, case studies, anything that might help him understand the connection between Sarah's isolation and her physical symptoms. "The palpitations," he said slowly, "they might be your body's response to the possibility of human connection. After years of isolation, even accidental contact could trigger a stress response." Sarah nodded, fresh tears flowing. "I've been afraid that something is wrong with my heart. But maybe something is wrong with me as a person." "There's absolutely nothing wrong with you as a person," James said firmly. What you're experiencing is a physical manifestation of emotional protection. Your body has learned to guard itself so completely that it reacts to any breach of that protection. For the next hour, they talked. James found himself sharing more than he typically would with a patient. He spoke about loneliness, about the human need for connection, about how the heart and mind were more intertwined than most people realized. I need to conduct a physical examination, James said eventually. But given what you've told me, I want to explain everything I'm going to do before I do it. Is that all right? Sarah nodded, though her anxiety was clearly mounting. James moved slowly, explaining each step. I'm going to listen to your heart with my stethoscope. I'll need to place it on your chest, over your sweater. You can stop me at any time? As he approached, Sarah's breathing quickened. When the stethoscope touched her chest, even through the fabric, she gasped, but she didn't pull away. Your heart is strong, James said after a moment. The rhythm is slightly elevated, but that's understandable given your anxiety. Physically, you're perfectly healthy. After the examination, Sarah seemed calmer. What happens now? She asked. James returned to his desk, but instead of sitting behind it, he pulled a chair around to sit closer to her, though still maintaining respectful distance. I could prescribe medication for the anxiety, but I don't think that addresses the real issue. Have you ever considered therapy? Someone who specializes in social anxiety and attachment? Sarah shook her head. I wouldn't know where to start. James reached for his prescription pad, but instead of writing medication, he wrote down a name and phone number. Dr. Elena Martinez. She's wonderful, and she has experience with cases similar to yours. More importantly, she's patient and kind. As Sarah prepared to leave, she paused at the door. Dr. Mitchell, can I ask you something personal? Of course. Are you lonely? I mean, you have all this success, this beautiful office. But are you happy? The question caught James off guard. He thought about his empty penthouse, his routine of work and solitude, his own carefully constructed barriers. Sometimes, he admitted, sometimes I think we all build walls to protect ourselves and then wonder why we feel so alone behind them. Sarah smiled then, the first genuine smile he had seen from her. Thank you for understanding, for not making me feel broken. You're not broken, Sarah. You're human. And being human means we're all a little scared of connection even when we need it most. After Sarah left, James sat in his office as darkness fell over the city. Her words echoed in his mind. He realized that in treating her isolation, he had glimpsed his own. Success and wealth had insulated him from many things, including genuine human connection. The following week, Sarah returned for a follow-up appointment. She seemed different, lighter somehow. She had called Dr. Martinez and scheduled her first therapy session. How are the palpitations? James asked. Better, Sarah said. Still there, but less frightening. Dr. Martinez says healing takes time, but that I'm stronger than I think. She's right, James agreed. And Sarah, I want you to know that our conversation last week affected me too. It made me realize some things about my own life. They talked for another half hour, not as doctor and patient now, but as two people who had recognized something in each other. When Sarah left that day, she hesitated at the door again. Dr. Mitchell, would it be inappropriate if I said that talking to you has been the most meaningful human connection I've had in years? James felt his throat tighten with unexpected emotion. It wouldn't be inappropriate at all. It's been meaningful for me too. As months passed, Sarah continued her therapy and gradually began to heal. She joined a book club at the library, started volunteering at a community center, slowly building connections with others. The palpitations decreased as her world expanded. James, inspired by their conversations, began to examine his own isolation. He started having dinner with colleagues instead of eating alone. He called his sister more often. He even adopted a dog from the local shelter, finding comfort in the simple, uncomplicated affection of another living being. Sometimes, late at night in his penthouse, James would think about Sarah's courage in admitting her deepest vulnerability. It had created a moment of genuine human connection that changed them both. He realized that healing often worked both ways, that sometimes the act of helping others helped us understand ourselves. In the end, Sarah's greatest gift to him wasn't just her trust in sharing her secret. It was showing him that behind all the walls we build, behind all the success and professional distance, we're all just humans needing to be understood, needing to be touched, if only by kindness and compassion. The touch of understanding, James learned, could heal hearts in ways that medicine alone never could.